Hello everybody and welcome back to Tyranny. All the levels seem good. Hopefully there's no echo or anything like that. I checked and holy crap, we've got so much to check. There's just so much to do because we just got the Spire and we're here at the top and we have to talk to Ebb and we leveled up and we've got Spire rest bonus, +5 all skills until next rest. Damn, I'm never resting, so that's permanent, sort of. Ending Kairos' edict on vengeance will fill you with a great deal of power. This will undoubtedly prove useful as you travel through the tiers. You should investigate the origins of this power and find ways to acquire more. A new bar on your character sheet displays your current level of power. Press C to open your character sheet and view your current level of power. It's just called power. I have 400 of power. I'm sorry, it's such as like, you now have power. Ooh, what does power do? It's just power. It's like, what does it mean? You're powerful? Oh, okay, so how much power do I have? 400. Out of how much? You just have 400. 400. Okay, cool. So random. You have acquired your first Spire, so there's many. This Spire will be your home base as your adventure through the lands of Kairos' tiers. Your Spire gives you a free location to rest and recover from your travel. As you acquire more Spires, you will discover additional functionality. I can see if every one of these is a Spire, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more Spires. That's a bunch of Spire. That means there's 10. Click on the Spire icon to open your home base interface. Okay, reputation ability. Gained enough reputation to unlock an ability. Yeah, those I know. You kill the Skull Skulls. Most factions have abilities your character can acquire as you build reputation with them. In order to acquire these abilities, you must build enough favor or wrath with the faction. Reputation abilities are only granted to your character, not everybody else. Hidden objects. Really? I never clicked hidden objects. Okay. So, we did like a million of things. Like a million things. And, ooh, courage. And I guess we got the Pillar of Courage, which I don't know what the hell that is, but we're going to use it because it looks really good. It controls Vigor. It's on Vigor for some reason. Immunity to Frightened. Okay. I guess. Like, if I compare it with my lesser staff, this one has Control Lightning, which is significantly better. It's like 40 better. 40 better, but this one has more lesser staff of the storm. So this is more DPS and no, no, wait, this has more DPS? Yeah, this is better. Pillar of Courage is better, significantly. But this determines the character's ability to draw and control Vigor. Higher skill values increase the chance of critical hits, which extends the duration of Vigor bonuses on allies. Okay. So the magic staff, though, effectiveness, higher skill values lead to more accurate attacks. So the accuracy is whatever. Basically, I can use this and it'll be totally fine to use. This seems to deal more damage, though. Oh, this deals less damage, but significantly less character recovery. The recovery is the major component here. Other than that, I've got a million items that we should take a look at, but we'll do that in a bit. We all lost one resolve because we lost one resolve. Let's go with more quickness because quickness is the best thing ever. And also it improves like everything except for lore. Kind of want more wits though. Spell strength and magic defense. 1 point to 18. Boom. Or we could go with wits. More wits? Let's go with more wits. More lore is always better. Okay, we did that. Who else leveled up? Barrick. Barrick, I just want you to survive forever, so vitality. Yes? Or resolve. Gives you more lore. Lore is kind of like... Oh, everybody has +5 to everything, which is ridiculous. This is finesse and wits. Which is quite strange. Yeah, finesse and wits is the things that control parry for some goddamn reason. I could just go with more vitality so he'll just never die. but maybe maybe other things will be useful. He does deal a good amount of damage, I guess. We can balance him out. So the thing is, do we want to balance him out, or do we want to just go, you know, spearhead towards doing something with him? And I think I'm just going to up his vitality. Bonus health and will defense. Let's just do that. It'll be fine. Whatever. We got more level ups later, right? You can always look at it that way. We require 6 talent points. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So in order to get to these, I need 2 more, actually. Right? It requires 6 talent points. After using Clash of Iron, Barrack will attack twice with normal strikes for a short time. Meh. This just becomes better. Barrack's Clash of Iron bolsters the strength of nearby allies, granting them a bonus to armor for a short time. Barrack and nearby party members take reduced damage. Yeah, this is the really, really good ones that just everyone has takes less damage. Engage in additional enemies, also very good. Retribution, after using Clash of Iron, he will attack. Yeah, so all of these are fantastic. I think I'm just going to take reduced damage. Well, maybe reduced damage. We said we'll do that in the end, because if you take 10 damage, 5% all damage taken for 3 seconds, well, all damage taken is not a lot of damage. So I don't know how effective this is. It does get way better, but yeah. Let's engage more people, because I will need 2 things anyways. Bond with an ally, defender's charge, heroic once per combat, Barrack reaches a critical ally, he'll be healed instantly. Ooh, this is awesome. Damn. Let's go with engage another enemy. Whatever. I'm gonna probably get all of them eventually, so it doesn't matter that much. And for me, yay. Power defense leadership? What does leadership do? Quick item slots. Don't care. Weapon set and can switch weapons. Wow, don't care. It will remove any harmful effect from you or each ally every few seconds. A random hostile effect. Oh, that's awesome. Grants additional specials for everyone in the party. Ah! 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 I want this because it gives me spell slots. I don't care about everyone. I care about this guy. Or like this KOKOStern. Only the... Dude. Is there anything in Magic that does that? Other than Expanded Mind? No, I already got Expanded Mind. I don't care about anything else. Anything else. Okay, we got one more point. I'm just considering just going for leadership right now just to get this goddamn button. Because it's the best button. It allows me to spell more spells. When attacking from stealth, don't care. Damage, don't care. Channel burst, cone of magic. I did use... I do have cone of magic, which is kind of crappy. I mean, I didn't use it as much. It's not crappy, it's probably good, but I just don't use it. Channel a burst of energy through your magic staff, dealing damage to all enemies in a cone, and stealing health from the Bane. Replaces cone of magic, so this just makes it better. And also drains health from them, which is pretty sick, honestly. And then add fire damage, and then I could add all of the stuff to my... Yeah. I'm actually going to go to leadership. What's power? Cleave. Yeah, this is just defense. These are the things that make sense. One-handed mastery, whatever. Range is shooting. Agility. Does agility have cool stuff? Unleash a double attack on your target. Flurry of blows. Feint, slice. Dual-wield mastery. Yeah. Leadership, however, this is the best thing. So I just want to get there. Bandolier. The party gains 2 additional quick item slots, or... Yeah, these all suck. Adds a marking effect of thrust. Attack against thrust to gain a bonus to accuracy. The mark lasts until the enemy dies. Ooh, that's pretty good. So I guess I could just put in thrust and improve that, because everything else seems kind of... Bleh. Oh, allied passive potion effectiveness. Does this do anything? Abundant, one party, abundant arms, 1. Weapon change recovery, which is utterly useless. But we want 3 of these. We need 3 of these in order... We need to spend 2 things before we can reach Arbiter of Knowledge. I guess potion effectiveness? I won't be close to things to actually attack them. I'm going to go with this. Yeah, fuck it. Generate an aura that will remove any harmful effects. Sounds awesome. 2 arms, bonus to blah, blah, blah. 2 thrust, right? It improves thrust ability. Will of Command. Use your commanding will to inspire allies, boosting their damage for a short time. Allied AoE cooldown 1 minute. It's just like, ooh, 15% damage for 30 seconds is pretty sick. Refuse Pain is also really good. Because it's pulse every 3 seconds, it's passive 1 minute. And it lasts... Oh, it lasts 12 seconds. And then it emits a pulse every 3 seconds, removes hostile negative effects. It's cute. But this is the best thing in the universe, basically. Okay. We did those. Steering visions. Whatever you did in the session hall and vision result is giving you power to interact with the spire. Before you ascend the spire, your vision what the power edict broke. Understanding the vision might help you better grasp the new power. The teleporter that brought you is shut off and left you. Now you need to click things. Go click things. Is what it is trying to tell me.
Slow and steady.
Okay. We can talk to Aaron Marshall Arianis. You can wander about looking for conversation because some of us want to head down to rejoin our troops. There's a war on and we're missing it. I won't rest until the teleport gets working again. I suggest you do the same. I take it you have questions. How do you think Ash will respond to the Civil War? With tact and coordination, the voices of Norada's chaotic, emotional, and baseless creature, Graven Ash is going to dismantle the Scarlet Chorus and wipe its leader from the face of Terratus. Count on it. Seriously, it's like... I bet that if this game had anything he'd be doing, yeah. She'll be doing, that's a female under that armor. Tell me about yourself. She blinks at you and shakes her head. Fatebinder, I'm the lieutenant who's going to start kicking people off this spire if I don't see that teleport flicker to life. Now, it's not the time for me to rattle off accomplishments and hopes for the future. Save it for after the war. Thank you for stupid question. Tell me about yourself. And great answer. Sounds like I should go investigate the teleporter. Yeah, I think that would be best. She crosses her arms and shiver against the cool breeze. Also, we now have Ebb, which I kind of screwed up, which is not cool. To the west, you see the shining spire of Lithania's Crossing. Oh, you can see other spires. And to the east, you see the deep ashen cloud surrounding the burning library. We can interact with the spire itself, or we could go to Ebb. So, do we want Ebb? We can only have 4 party members. Lantry is adorable. He's a cute guy. He's cute, you know? However, maybe we don't need him. Maybe we can, like, not use him. Or it's unbound, immune to paralyzed, whatever. Maybe we can switch to Ebb. Could be cool. I don't know. Let's check out some weapons. Iron Dagger. It's an Iron Dagger. Red Rivers. Yeah, it's not better than anything. This is an Iron Javelin. It's one-handed and thrown, but still better stuff. Other than armor penetration, but the recovery is ridiculously more, and the DPS, standard DPS, is not good. Iron Dagger, less DPS, more accuracy, less recovery, and more armor penetration. Really? Is this Iron Dagger just better other than a little bit less DPS? It's kind of funny. I'm going to keep with the axe, though. Actually, it does have more accuracy and more armor penetration, and it seems like it's better in every way. Why does it seem like it's better in every way? This Bronze Dagger is also good, but this is strictly better. Iron Javelin is crap. This Iron Dagger seems better than this goddamn axe. A little bit less DPS, but you'll attack significantly more. The recovery will be, like, way better. Well, way better. Slightly better. He still has a ton of armor, so he's still... Whatever. Other stuff. Vengeance Guard Light Bronze Helmet. Armor, less recovery, deflection, and less accuracy. She has the Captive Precision, which is sharp, so nope. Earthshaker Hood, whatever. More armor, crush, corrode, recovery, with deflection, accuracy. Not a big deal all around. And you, whatever. Boots are only Lantry can equip the Scholar Boots, which are... This is maybe on her. Oh, she has multi-strike. Never mind. This is strictly better with 1% more precision. Yay. We did it, I guess. And in terms of bootsies, let's just go to the best ones. Armor, less recovery, deflection, disengagement. Yeah. Nah. This is... It gives you armor, but nah. Horde boots. Yeah, the others are not interesting. You, it's kind of the same deal. And you, it's pretty much the same deal because you're all wearing pretty much the same thing. So we can kind of sell all of these things. But yeah, in terms of Lantry, let's see. So let's talk to Ebb and switch to it and see how that works.
Salutations, Fatebinder. Or should I now call you Lady of Vendrian's Well? The Spire Queen? Princess of the suggestive vertical slab?
Suggestive vertical slab, if you know what I mean. KOKOStern will suffice.
So if I might ask, what is your plan now? The edict no longer looms overhead, and Kairos' conquest of the Tears seems to be slipping. What with the armies and civil war?
Well, I should speak with Tunon. I'm improvising. Any suggestions? The plan is to destroy the Scarlet Chorus. Ebb, gain average loyalty. The disfavored in Scarlet Chorus, all of the Overlord's minions will fall. Gain average loyalty. Oh, I can also kill the disfavored. Average loyalty. Or I will crush the remaining local opposition and complete the conquest. That's fear, or none of your concern. That's fear. I'm gonna go with loyalty. Let's make her love us. Actually, I want the fear thing, right? Nah, let's make her love us. Score is I don't know. I don't want to say any of these things. They all seem bad.
If that's the case, pardon my line of inquiry. What is it you need?
Add up to party. Grab your things and lead your skills. You should discuss matters at hand.
Oh, we're working with the disfavored. You want my advice? My advice would be to get close to Graven Ash and plunge a poisoned shiv in his ear.
It's my allies. I won't entertain such treachery. Yay, gain more fear.
I will never understand why deceit is the first instinct of all Tearsmen. You are right to take offense.
Ah, right. I'm speaking out of line. But I don't really know what to say here. I hate the disfavored, but I'm sworn to your cause, so my honest opinion won't do anyone any good.
I did fantastic. I raised your fear by a lot. I have some questions.
Ask away.
Yay! Let's do all of the clicking. So I guess we're talking to Ebb today. Let's speak of magic.
You know, I normally charge for this, but for you...
Bitch. What can you tell me about your magical tradition?
Now, you know that's a very personal question. The knowledge I have is a centuries-old gift from the Archon of Tides. I would sooner discard my life than the sanctity of that gift. I will speak in generalities only.
Okay. Ask. Worst I can do is not tell you. Tell me how you influence the Terratus Grave. Influence Terratus Grave. I don't know what that is. Trade secret, not one I'm going to talk about. The School of Tides dies with me, and so too will this. And don't bother trying to change my mind on this matter. It'll just get ugly quick. Tell me how you influence ice, mist, and other forms of water. With years of training. Now look, most of these secrets have already been stolen ages ago by the sages. Doesn't mean I'm going to tell you just because the secret's already out, but it means you can go ask someone else if you really want to, you feel so entitled to know. And before you ask, I've learned plenty from knowledge stolen by the sages, but no, I don't know how to do what Ebb does, magically or otherwise. Can you teach me what you know? I suppose I'm capable of it, but no, the secrets of the Archon of Tides dies with me. Ooh, we got a thing to click here. Lore. Occulted Jade, Archon of Tides, is the founder of the School of Tides, as well as its only ruler. Though she wore the title Archon, Occulted Jade never bowed to Kairos, though many have tried to compel her to do so, having arrived with the settlers that made landfall at 5 Wives. She is perhaps the oldest known living Tearsman, capable of manipulating the oceans, the moons, and all the transitory forms of water. Occulted Jade used her magic to form a cabal of seafaring traders, musicians, and academicians? Academicians? Isn't the word academics? Why is it academicians? And it was a dedication to the art that helped the school endure. For by teaching those trades to the children of noble families, the school remained in the good graces of the realms. Being able to control most anything cyclical and fluid, Occulted Jade has lived for centuries and could still be alive today, but none know with certainty. In the years before the conquest, the School of Tides discovered the Overlord's plan to invade. Despite all assumptions that the Tears resident Archon would defend her school and home, to the surprise of everyone, the Archon vanished across the seas, taking nearly the entire School of Tides with her into exile across uncharted waters. I command you to teach me what you know. Ooh, average fear. You can order me into a battle I can't win, and I'll follow that order to my death, but I'm taking what I know with me to the end. Ooh, Fear 3 or Loyalty 4. Uh-huh. Okay. Let's get some loyalty then. What's it worth to you? If something happened to you, who will preserve the school's teachings? Oh, I don't know, the Archon of Not My Problems? This is all I have left that makes me special. Preserving the knowledge for the coxswains about to inherit the tears is not my agenda. What is it worth to you? Lantry's still beating hard. Throw in a charm bracelet made of his beard and we're talking. Look, I'm all for the advancement of knowledge, but this is absurd. I'd settle for Kyrus' severed head. Sure, bring me that. Silver platter optional, and I'll teach you everything I know about magic and maybe even some of what I know about tying knots. Forget I asked. For now. What are the philosophical teachings of your magic? That's a question I can answer. It would surprise you little to learn that we see all things, people, war, season, to be cyclical, waxing and waning through their various forms like the tides and the light of Terratus' grave. Terratus, the planet, has two satellites visible by the naked eye, the tide-locked Terratus grave and the rapidly orbiting interloper. Scholars have long studied the effects of the two moons on the ocean currents, and a great deal of folklore concerning the origins of the moons. A common belief in Kyrus' empire is that the Terratus grave will finally set on the horizon when Kyrus' rule ends, whereas those of the Tears insist the moons are older than the old walls and will outlive even Kairos. The mind is limited. We're born and spend our lives dodging death. We expect all stories to have a beginning and an end. We assume all things start and stop just like us. In truth, all things are cycles, some by matter of minutes, other by matters of years or lifetimes. In the School of Tides, we appreciate patterns of all sorts. Most are called to the depths. Others find their interests skybound. Many still find the tides of human emotion and political fortune far more intriguing than inanimate tides found in the orbits and oceans. From what Archon do the Tidecaster draw upon their magic? The first Tidecasters were given the gift of magic by our school's founder, Occulted Jade Archon of Tides. I've already seen that, right? Yes. Though she was not of Kyrus' ilk, she was as powerful as any Archon, and from her name and legacy, we can mimic the moon's pull on the seas and change the currents. Terratus, the planet, has two satellites. Okay, already read all of those things. And it's from her it is from her that we have spells to turn the moon's pleasant hues into a baleful ray of searing gravelight. Gravelight is the magical term for the light of the moon Terratus grave, specifically when harnessed and manipulated for nefarious purposes. While the moon's rays are normally incapable of causing so much as a mild sunburn, the Tidecasters have long studied magic that can concentrate these rays into bolts and beams of searing doom. The Tidecaster have spent centuries trying to mimic and control of the moon's tidal pull on the ocean, and will often mention that diverting moonlight is the easy stuff compared to pulling and pushing the tides, but modern times have forced the School of Tides to concentrate on the more martial applications of this magic. I'm guessing you can tell me more than I ever wanted to know about the moons. You'd be right, my magic is generally associated with the moon Terratus grave, but you have to know where Interloper is in the sky. Yes, when mucking about them with mystic forces. Terratus grave is... Okay, wait, lore. Lore 40, do you control water, or do you mimic the tidal effects the moon have on water? Both, actually. I'm amused you're keen on the difference. Our spells of ice and mist affect water directly, but are of limited volume. Displacing your own body weight in water is no mean feat. But if I were to move an ocean current, I'd drive myself nuts moving water in front of a boat a little at a time. That's where I'd use a cantrip to stimulate a tidal pull. Terratus grave is the big one, right? Tell me about it. Terratus grave is fixed in the sky, always overhead day and night. It was first named by folks living far to the east. They'd look to the west and see the moon like a permanent hill on the horizon, a grave where the sun dies each evening. That's how the older folks saw it. If you live in the western part of the world, Terratus grave is overhead all the time. This means that the day and night it's reflecting the sun's rays, and if you know what you're doing, it doesn't just reflect, it magnifies. Interloper's the one that moves in the skies, if I remember the lessons correctly. Exactly, Interloper orbits Terratus at a steady clip, and its orbit sometimes crosses in front of Terratus grave, leading to a mystical calamity if you don't know what you're doing. Let's talk about something else. Have you heard anything from the Tidecaster that left before the war? Nope, and I don't like entertaining the hope. Those cowards are all gone. If they didn't die at the sea, they are dead to me. Fine, can we talk about other arcane matters?
You know, I normally charge for this.
But for you... do you know anything of the magic of the Archons? Enough to know I'm out of my element. That is to say, I've studied to many Archons a great deal, and I have a great number of hypotheses and conjectures, but, well, I'm no expert yet. And like most who who have invoked the archons of time past to work magic. I do wonder what difference of birth or experience gives one the magical potential to be an archon. Most of my studies have been into the question of origins of form. It's known we can emulate the magic of archons that came before us, but is it possible to tap into the magic of archons yet to be? So far, the answer seems to be no. She looks at the ground with a rumpled smirk. Interesting. Know anything about the old walls, and the spires? Not enough, never enough. Ebb smiles, twirling her staff in her hands. As a child, I was terrified of the old walls. I think that's true of most folk. Now that I can arc gravelight with a wiggle of my fingers, magical term. Well, I think when I'm shriveled old hag, dying in the old walls will be a great way to go. What can you tell me of the Bane? What I know is largely taken from Master Cambriel's work and some near fatal experience venturing close to the old walls. As best I understand it, the Banes are bits of magical will that have an extended life of their own. I'm of the belief that they nest or reproduce in the old walls, the only place you regularly find them. Our magic attracts the Bane, that much I know to be true firsthand. Again, this is personal theory, but I'm guessing they eat or drink magic, so our spells are invitations to dine.
Ask away.
Tell me about yourself. What would you like to know? Tell me about your name. You know ebb and flow, so that one. Well, I was born Hazen Levenja, but for most of my life, and I suppose for all the days after, I'm known and will be known as Ebb. Tidecaster Ebb for those trying to be obsequious. I'm sorry, I don't know that word. Obsequious? Probably. I don't know what it means as well. I've also probably used a bunch of aliases that are going to haunt me at some point. Hazen? Didn't realize you were nobility. I know. I dress myself and cook my own food. So, misleading. Mother was a magistrate of Ardent. Father was Admiralty. It's mostly meaningless, though. Our lands are now the overlords. How'd you get the nickname? It's one of those not especially funny jokes that stuck long past its season. I wrote the word ebb incorrectly on a written examination. Master Folvax started calling me Ebb from then on. He claimed it fit me, said I was cynical little shit that always sees the ebb but never the flow. Did you always want to be a Tidecaster? So when I was a little girl, what I really wanted to be was a Marine. The burly bitch at the prow of a trireme. First to crack some skulls when the ships rammed, an honest living. Fortunately, the school sought me out before I got myself killed at sea. The School of Tides was looking for new blood, and my father was an admiral of Haven, so the school wanted me for the political connections. I got to spend my first couple of years proving I actually belonged with the Tidecaster. That was fun. Tidecasters, that was fun. What did you do in the years before the war? My husband was born in Apex, and he left his prosperous lands to be with me. So when the nest was empty, it seemed right we leave my homeland and see his side of the tiers. We had a year and a bit for ourselves before the war upturned things. We saw all of Apex. I took him along all my old sailing routes around Five Wives and Sunder. Those were good times. Then came the war, and I learned I would be one of the last tiersmen to live free of Kairos. Ever since then, I think Oathbreaker was technically been my chosen profession. Tell me about your family. I have loyalty too. Trying to salt old wounds. They're all gone, but if you really care to know, I had a husband, 3 kids, siblings I didn't hate. 3 kids, damn. Every family has its troubles. I was lucky that awkward and stilted dinner banter was the worst of it. Tell me about your husband. Pelux Aldenos and I were married in 410. Aldenos was a flaxman of the Vendrian Guard back before they were starving partisans, but I saw him more as a carpenter. Woodworking was just a hobby of his, but my fondest memories of him are trying to shape something and me making stupid jokes about the firmness of his materials. What became of him? He perished at the gates of judgment. I saw him die. I do not wish to discuss it. Just know I've made my peace with it, and am glad I was with him on the field of battle when his time came. I miss him, but it might have been for the best. Though he was only a few years older than me, my studies left me always a bit younger than him. The difference grew with time. Damn. This was slowing down, and half figured the gates of judgment would be his last battle. If anything, he got exactly the death he wanted. So in that sense, I am very happy for him. Tell me of your children. There were the twins, Drevener and Lorma, then my youngest son, Achemis. Aldenos wanted more, but I was nearing the end of my trials at the School of Tides, and dueling with lethal magics is a terrible idea when with child. Drevener and Lorma followed my husband's trade and took to the Falks. Akamas liked the harp more than people, can't blame him one bit. I made sure my children could read, and I'm damn proud of that fact, probably the only thing I did right. What of the twins? They died at the gates of judgment, or at least Drevenor died, run through by disfavored spear. Lorma was at the battle, but I don't know what became of her. My fear has been that she was recruited by the Scarlet Chorus. Perhaps she has a new name, if she still lives. There were the twins, Drevenor and Lorma. Then my youngest son, Akamas. Aldenus wanted more, but... Oh, yeah. What became of your youngest? With Drevenor and Lormus, Akamas... Well, he never quite... He took his own life in 430. Ooh, and shrugs, her eyes glancing far away. I should have put him on a trireme and shoved him out into the high seas. He did not ask for birth, nor did I prepare him for the bitterness that life would offer. Allow or offer? One of those words were there. There were the twins. Okay, I'm very sorry for your loss. Spare me the sorrow of all of family to Kairos. I just lost 2 in one battle, but even then, I'm hardly unique. Let's change the subject. You keep saying this same sentence. What of the rest of your family? My family's haven folk through and through. My mother prided herself on being descended from a Hazan Rabban, one of the founding magistrate of the city of Arden. She looks to the side, mouth twisting in thought. Sad thing is, they died during the conquest, but that's how I lost contact. I lost contact because magic and travel became my life. Had plenty of time to get to know them as an adult, but I simply missed it. But that one's my fault. I can't rightly blame Kairos for everything. Almost everything. Not sure I believe any of this. You don't seem all that troubled.
Sorry. Did you want more tears from your conquered slaves? I've lost nearly everything during this war, but my story is a fortunate one compared to most.
Okay, damn, bitch. Snapperoonie. How'd you fall in with the Fingering Guard? What does it matter now that they're gone? They seemed the last hope for the tears, and a ninny-shitting fuck of a chance is still more than no chance at all. Okay, then.
Ask away.
I have a question about the people of the Tears.
We all know how to swim, and we all know how to fight. Most Northmen are lucky to make half that boast. What would you like to know?
I'm curious about the people of the Tears, which is... I think you'll find each of us thinks themselves a child of Haven, as in my case, or a child of Azure, child of Apex, or what have you. But I suppose we Tearsmen have our shared customs. The most treasured of those customs used to be the pride of being free of Kairos' rule. When were the Tears settled? Human settlers arrived over 400 years ago, displaced from a war between what are now Kairos' realms of Trevin and Fertile Sands. A flotilla of barely seaworthy rigs headed west across the high seas. Tearsmen will sometimes speak of the 5 wives. We use it to refer both to the first 5 settlements where the colonists made landfall, as well as the 5 matriarchs that went on to form the ruling dynasties of the Tears. Of course, I'm leaving out the matter of the builders of the old walls, who know when they lived here and why they're gone, but those old walls didn't just fall out of the sky. Why don't men own land or women ships? So women own land and men own ships, because that's the way it goes. For centuries, it has been our way that the men own the ships, but the women own the harbors. Our customs don't truly prevent ownership, they limit inheritance. Lands pass to daughters, then sisters, then mothers and aunts. Ships pass to sons, then brothers, then fathers and uncles. It seems strange to outsiders, but it makes sense to me. Men are blessed with wanderlust, women with a sense of the permanent. That's actually kind of makes sense. Likewise, the captain of a ship can't pause to carry a child, and the men grow restless if left in place. In truth, the custom varies from place to place, and you'll find men with enough wealth own land, and women with enough sway own ships. As is often the case, the nobles pick and choose their traditions. Why didn't the younger realms stand united against Kairos? Are you trying to rub it in? Yes, the younger realms were defeated one at a time by the invaders. Maybe if I was Queen of the Tears, that wouldn't have happened. Well then, what would Queen Ebb have done? Yeah. So I need 4 loyalty or 3. So which one I'm closer? Loyalty. So we're going to go with loyalty. Well then, right? Loyalty. Oh, my loyalty is 2. I need to get to 3. I thought I was at 3 already. So I need to gain more fear. I would have accepted hubris or incompetence as valid answers. Ebb regards you with a cold stare. Okay, we need to get past fear 3. Tearsmen live with greater numbers of beastmen. What was that like? The beastmen of the Tears are hardier and smarter than their kin elsewhere. Unfortunately, we have lived together in relative harmony for some time. Make no mistake, life is difficult for most beastmen in the Tears, but compared to, say, how they are treated in the Northern Empire, I would like to think we Tearsmen are a bit more modern and forward-thinking, even if just a bit. I'm still really pissed at myself that when originally I got her last video, I didn't press the button that says major frickin' things, and I made her swear to me without actually taking anything from her. I just feel bad about all that, but, well, mistakes were made. Let's change the subject once again. What is the major resistors to Kairos' rule? What of the major resistors?
Aside from the ones you slew? Well, the Vendrian Guard were the most staunch opponents of Kairos. With their passing, the Overlord's rule is absolute. Well, aside from the local Archons being in a state of civil war. Was there a particular group you wish to discuss?
Sure. Tell me about the Unbroken.
The Unbroken is the name of the military of the now fallen realm of Stalwart. Every citizen of Stalwart was trained to fight, and all were expected to answer the rallying cry of the Regents, the ruling small council of the realm.
The Unbroken Legion was a proud and accomplished army of the realm of Stalwart, citing their victories as evidence of skill. They prided themselves on never facing defeat while fighting on home soil. After the Edict of Storm tore apart Stalwart and twisted it into the Blade Grave, barely a 20th of the Unbroken's former strength survived the continued war against Kairos' forces.
A decade ago, Stalwart was the ass end of jokes Tearsmen would tell each other. The people of Stalwart are obnoxiously proud of a long history of being invaded, but never losing. The disfavored put an end to their vaunted record of victory. The Unbroken still persist, albeit marginally so. The disfavored withdrew after the Edict of Storms began shredding the landscape. Their holdfast of Sentinel Stand Keep was never taken, and the citizen army, though scattered, could still be rallied.
Stonestalker.
Kairos' war was disastrous to the human realm of Azure, but a stroke of good luck for the numerous beastmen that toiled in Azure's endless wheat fields. With the masters all dead, the serfs have been set free. The Stonestalkers are a tribe born from these newly freed beasts. I imagine they would never bow to Kairos or the Archons. Too many generations have been enslaved. I'd wager anything they'll die before they ever bow.
The largest spanning beast tribe in the entirety of the tiers, the Stonewalkers of Azure nearly tripled in population during a period of domestication and forced labor in service to the farmers and ranchers of the realms. However, like all beasts, the Stonewalkers are born wild and yearned to range free, unfettered by humans within their own homeland. In ancient times, the tribe was known as the Meadowkins, but they were denied a name during their centuries of enslavement. In the turmoil created by Kairos' invasion of the Tiers and conquest of Azure, the beasts rebelled and won their freedom. Drawn to the enigmatic presence of Karen, Archon of Stone, the beasts took the name Stonestalker as their own. After Karen's defeat, when Kairos proclaimed the Edict of Stone on Azure, creating the Stone Sea, the Stonestalkers retreated into the wilds. The humans who have since encroached on their territory has been slaughtered.
Beastmen understand strength and leadership, but it's always in the concrete sense. I can't pretend to know how they think, but I could never imagine them accepting an absent Prima. A distant ruler they can't see or smell seems a bit too abstract.
Prima is the leader of a beast tribe, a supremacy always held by a female. This rank is won and defended through vicious bloodshed and fights for dominance rather than birthright. Many alphas may exist within a single tribe, but only one can rise above others as Prima. Tell me about the Bronze Brotherhood.
The Bronze Brotherhood is one of the most feared and famous of the Free City mercenary companies. They serve the highest bidder, and during the war, that was Kairos. Most of the Brotherhood perished in the war, but a handful, the crew hired to work at Lethian's Crossing. They got to babysit the Forge-bound and survived the last few years with minor losses. The band is too small to be a serious threat to the disfavored or the Chorus, but they are Scourge-worshipping berserks that will adopt any enemy for the right price. Maybe even Kairos.
Are there other remnants of the Younger Realms that could still rise against Kairos?
Several sages came to our aid during the Second Battle of Vendrian's Well. I at first thought they meant to kill me, but instead they put their lives on the line for us. They spoke of others in their guild braving the Edict of Fire to salvage lore from the burning library. Though I may find them untrustworthy, it must be said that the sages have a certain fearlessness toward the Overlord. Perhaps that could be kindled further. Historically speaking, an alliance with the School of Ink and Quill is just asking to have your efforts stolen and your goals undermined. Mark my words, some things never change.
Ooh, we've got Lantry stuff here. So yeah, the I was thinking earlier is that if I can get Ebb, like, who do I replace? And Barak I need because he stands there and takes damage, so that's good. Verse is a damage dealer, that's pretty good. And Lantry heals and is another spellcaster. I could get Ebb instead as a spellcaster, and that will be fine. So I could replace Lantry, I think. Makes the most sense. So I think the Sages as a resource, in that sense, we are fools not to use them. Average loyalty and average fear from Lantry. Would you rather they be our enemies? Or your concern is noted, but irrelevant. If the Sages will obey me, I will work with them. Average fear, that should push us over 3. And loyalty with Lantry. I'm making her hate me. Maybe it's better to do this one. Average is like 50%? Average is 50%? Will it push me for... Because I want her to like me. But I want to get to level 4 so that we can also get the thing. Her teach me stuff. So teaching me stuff... We should be able to get to level 4. There should be a possibility to get level 4. Let's do this, damn it.
Well, perhaps we can shove them in front of the enemy. And the ones that volunteered at Vendrian's Well weren't all bad.
Okay, so yeah, now I need like 90% more. So I need 2 more averages or 1 major. Major is never going to happen, or a bunch of minors. Mistakes were made, maybe. I mean, I knew that wouldn't get me to 4, but just 10% to 4. It's not a lot. What can you tell me about the different nations of the tiers? Before Kairos came, the tiers were the younger realms, the Bastard tier and the Free Cities, in about that order of prominence. We all trace our roots back to the 5 wives, though sometimes a bit of ancestral shoreline seems all we have in common. Tell me about the younger realms. Haven, Azure, Apex, and Stalwart have been the 4 major forces of the tiers for the last 4 centuries. A few other dynasties have tried their hand, but all eventually were defeated or absorbed into the 4 we know today. Not sure what the term younger came into fashion, but it's always been a term of humble contrast. Just look at the old walls. Someone was here before us and built them. Don't know really anything about them, but it stands to reason that there have been an older realms that did all the construction. Before Kairos came, the tiers were the younger realms, the Bastard tier and the Free Cities, in about that order of okay, coming back to saying the same thing again. Tell me about the Bastard tier. It's the northernmost of the tiers and the choke point for the Northern Empire. It's been a hub of trade for centuries, and a long line of merchants' families and private armies have kept the realm largely lawless. Though many of used to joke about the Bastard City. Is that sentence correct? Though many of used to joke about this Bastard City being sacked by rabid dogs, Tuna's capture of the city was a terrible blow to the morale of the tiersmen. We knew the day Kairos was more than just a fun story to scare your kids. What can you tell me about the Free Cities? There's little free about the Free Cities except for the independence from the younger realms. They are not physically adjacent, but rather politically allied by their shared hatred of the other realms. Most all of the Free Cities were defeated with little effort by Kairos' forces. Way I heard it, Nerat just had to have agents hire up the mercenaries and order them to simply be elsewhere when the armies of the Overlord arrived. Let's change the subject.
Ask away.
We come with the archons of the tiers.
Not entirely sure. Which is to say, there was a time I studied my enemy in great detail, but I've recently come to learn that much of my information was little more than lies and misdirection.
What of the voices of Nerat? The Archon of Secrets lives up to his name. If he weren't so loathsome a beast, I'd half admire his mastery of the magical arts. They say he knows all the sigils lost to history, but I've also heard it said all that stolen knowledge is why he speaks in different voices. But in truth, I'm learning that most of what I know is just lies. What do you know of Graven Ash? Before the conquest, I assumed Graven Ash a harmless old man, an Archon in name only, but past his prime. I could not have been more wrong. Many have underestimated the great general by his age. Few of them have made the mistake twice. Ash is a remarkable general. He's led his tiny band of deceivered a nearly unstoppable rampage of the tiers, and he does not seem to win his wars with obvious displays of mystic powers, but with old-fashioned leadership and good soldiers. A year or so back, under a blue flag talk with a commander, I was told that the Archon knows the name of every soldier under his command, living and dead. The way that his favorites speak of Ash, you'd think of raised each of them from the cradle. He raised each of them from the cradle. Know anything of Karen? Enough. She inhales sharply, folding her arms into a scowl. Average loyalty. Ooh, in that case, I won't question further. Thank you. We've better things to do than pick at scabs. Yay, I gained loyalty. 62. We're getting there. What do you know of Siren? I'm pretty sure there may be younger Archons in the historical records, but Siren is certainly an unusually powerful child. It said half of the Scarlet Chorus were recruited by Siren's persuasive song, and I don't doubt it. I also know the Voices of Nerat puts a shackle on her power, but probably feared she'd become the favorite of the rabble. Yeah, which is her thing that she wanted me to remove when she was there.
Ask away.
What do you know of the Arcane Society?
I know a great deal of the mages of the tiers, or at least their history. Most are dead now. I know a little less about the guilds sworn to Kairos' Archons, but I try to make an effort to know my opposition.
Sorry, there are flies here. Sometimes the little fruit flies? They're so annoying, and I try to kill them with my hands. Tell me of the Oath Shakers. The Earthshakers are the disciples of Karen, Archon of Stone, and they share their master's command of tremors and soil, and they also share Karen's aloof, brooding temperament. From what I gather, the Earthshakers serve the disfavored, but their relationship has been deeply strained by Karen's fall from grace. I can imagine there's the fear Karen shared with them, something subversive or treasonous. Tale of the Blood Chanters. Blood Chanters are the voice of Neret's cabal of mages. Their magic is taken from the sigil of Siren and from techniques stolen from the school of Wild Wrath, namely their magic of fire as learned from Thousand's Ember Archon of Fire. They barely qualify as a proper school or guild, most of them barely literate, and I bet most of them didn't learn a damn thing, just had their knowledge shoved into their heads by Nerat. They have all the brutal buffoonery of the chorus, but with their magic to make their bloodlust contagious. Their only redeeming feature, guess they make the sages seem not half bad. We continue with the Forgebound. Forgebound have an unusual sort of magic. They specialize in slow, painstaking rituals that do not produce the dazzling blast of energy and shard of flying ice like my own magic. Instead, their spells render them immune to the fires of the forge and one with their tools into the trade. I admit a bit of fascination with the guild. I much prefer the power and brutality of my own magic, but if I've lived in a calmer, wiser time, I think there could be a great satisfaction in using magic to become the master of one's craft. School of Ink and Quill. Behind the Tidecasters, the sages of the School of Ink and Quill are the second oldest arcane institution in the tiers. We go way back a ways. There's a lot of bad blood. If I'm being objective, the sages claim to be the scholars interested in collecting, archiving, and preserving lore from and for all humanity. They're quite keen to gather lore, but in no sense do they seek to share their knowledge with the tiersmen. Many of our secrets have been pilfered by the sages' spies over the centuries, and we're not alone. The sages have the secrets of many other guilds. Their generations of theft have made them versatile and dangerous. Your own guild. School of Tides. Our patrons, Occulted Jade Archon of Tides, is as old as the Settlers of the Five Wives. The name for both historical landfall of seafaring humans settled the tiers. Yeah, we read this already. And for nearly 5 centuries, I think, we were masters of the coasts and the rivers. These days, it's a school of one you're looking at. Of one, you're looking at it. She thumps her chest with a besmirked smirk. Bemused smirk. Why didn't your Archon find the war? Sorry. About a year or so before the troops arrived in the Bastard Tier, Occulted Jade proclaimed the age of the tiers was over. She said she'd depart southwest into unknown, unending ocean rather than face Kairos. Most of my guildsmen went along, choosing the endless high seas rather than risk battle. A few of us, the militants, as our peaceful brethren dubbed us, chose to stand and fight. To my knowledge, I am the last of those who decided to stay and fight. Out of other magical schools and guilds of the tiers, there's been several to crop up and wither across the centuries. The Clutter Guild took their healing magic north centuries ago. The School of Flowering Winter always limped along as an inconsequential group of gardeners. But okay, that's interesting, actually. I'd like to ask about our travel companions. She nods, silently awaiting your follow. What do you make of Barrick? He's like right here.
My one concern with Barrick is that he's still loyal to Graven Ash and not to you. Barrick seems steadfast, faithful, and dependable. But if it comes down to you versus Graven Ash, therein lies the test.
If it weren't a tactical asset, I'd be fun to try and pry him out of that suit. Curious to see if his midsection is as strong, firm, and taut as I've imagined it should be. I think that's hot. Is that hot? Is that sexy? I don't know. Sexy time? What are your thoughts on verse?
We should consider ourselves fortunate that one of the most deadly members of the Scarlet Furies considers you a suitable gang leader. That said, I think her involvement with you is entirely suspect. I would wager good money the voices of Neratis listening through her, or perhaps seeing what she sees.
Landry.
Probably the only word thief I haven't wanted to dismember. Him? I'd merely flay with an ice knife.
Ice knife. The Wandering School thing seems an act. It's always an act with the sages, always pretending to know less than they really do. I'm sure he's got 1,000 reasons why he's not like them or more trustworthy than the rest, but I know his type, and so I don't trust him. Aw, that's high praise coming from you. So they do hear everything she's saying about it. They're like right there, which is hilarious. We got a little bit of fear. We got a little bit of fear from him, but yeah, he likes me. Yeah, Landry likes me. I'm going to take this staff and repeatedly jam it into your backside until you prolapse. Just like that, balance is restored to all unknown existence. You had me worried there. This is adorable. I kind of want to have both of them at the same time, but maybe instead of verse, but eh.
Ask away.
Let's talk about something else.
What is it you need?
That's all. No, it's so close to tier 4. Grab your things.
Of course. It's about time to stretch the old sea legs.
Okay, so...
I will return to our holdfast at once.
Okay. So now he's just standing there, and I have her. So, click. 5 points. Yay! They let me customize her from scratch, which is so important. Honestly, just so goddamn important. And what stuff does she has is this? Fancy. Tightcaster garments, which is only Eb can equip this, and it's crap, so she's not going to be equipping that for long. Yeah. Tightcaster boots. It's crap. It's also crap. Everything is crap. Yay. Ooh. Sizigi. Sizigi. Yeah, Sizigi. Sizigi. Control Gravelight. Oh, that's the name of the thing? Control Gravelight. Only Eb can equip this. Freezing. On weapon crit, they freeze them. Foe target versus parry. Eb's staff is a fearsome specimen of the modern Tidecaster staff. A bladed polearm. Bladed polearm with a much more martial, intimidating construction than the humble and hand-carved wooden staves, the first Tidecasters repurposed from sailing oars. Festooned about the haft and etching of the celestial dance between the sun, Terratus, and the moons. Cool. Very cool. She has a healing potion and a lesser healing potion. And she has Tidal and Gravelight, which is nice. Blah, blah, blah. Scarlet Chorus. Let's go to Eb. And we get Terrace's Embrace. Yay! Eb and the party are lifted into the sky. Ed then Rabia's Moonlight. Healing allies and harming enemies. Ooh, so she does have healing, in a sense. Allied. Suspended. Suspended targets cannot move or attack and can only be targeted by ranged attacks. That's still... Range attack is still range. It's kind of not great. Cannot be targeted from melee. Allied AoE, not self. Cannot be targeted by melee, recovery 1 total. Do you heal them though? They're just suspended. Oh, and then they have recovery. Recovery is the amount of time that the character spent. No, like what? Wait. Cannot be targeted from melee. Healing allies and harming enemies. Where do you see those things happening? Whatever. Heart of the Storm. Imbues the Fatebender with the ability to channel lightning through it. While the effect remains, the Fatebender attacks will evoke a powerful electric explosion. Cool. Oh, interesting. We got both of them. Lantry, we still have Wheel of Ages. And we don't have Theft of Memory. Verse, we have both of them. Eb, we have only one. And Siren, we didn't really talk to her much. Tunon likes me. Gravenash loves me. And the Voices of Norad despises me. Damn. Scarlet Chorus don't like me so much. This we lost forever. This we might still gain. Against bleeding and burning attacks, Bill Cool. Disfavored. They love me. And this is, yeah. Shielded for 40 damage, 1 per encounter. And the Vendrian Guard hate me. Unnerving Presence, -4 accuracy. And we haven't gotten all the way here to drain strength, which is cute, but yeah, never mind. All right, so Eb. Hello there. She has, oh, and she has spells as well, right? Phantom Bolt. Sigil of Force. Yeah, but this is Control Gravelight, yeah. So here's the question. If I remove this, do we no longer have the ability to do Gravelight things? Like, can I not get this back? Is there no way for me to get this skill back if I remove it? That's kind of scary. Second out with a bolt of Gravelight energy that drains health from the target and converts it into health of the caster. Yeah. It's kind of like a drain mage, which is pretty interesting. Yeah. What is her stats, though? If you take a look at everything. Tide casting. So this is to manipulate the wave. Tidecasters through their strong link with Terratus Grave can use their own energy to influence the movements of water. Because she hits and with tide casting talents. Okay. Gravelight and lightning. She does have lightning, which is pretty cool. I mean, I'm lightning. Lightning. Create a powerful jet of water that strikes nearby targets and knocks them back. Okay, cool, I guess. Summon a globe of water to surround the target's head, leaving them to slowly drown. Drowning. Causes raw damage over time and prevents spellcasting. Ooh, prevents spellcasting. That's really good. Mother's Embrace. Damn. That's pretty damn good, though. This is sick against spellcasters. Fluid body resists hostile afflictions for 80% to 80% of their duration. It's not by 80%, it's to 80%, which is a very weird wording, and you shouldn't do that, but okay. Plus 10 frost damage. Cool. Elemental Fury, plus 10 shock and frost damage, and then plus 20 ability area of effect, empowered elements. Shock and frost damage dealt plus 20 to everything. Then we've got Student of Magic, bonus damage dealt by magic staves. It increases significant damage up to 30. That's totally fine. Purifying water is considered channel water to wash over the target, removing a random hostile effect. Cascading about when Mother's Embrace erupts, nearby targets are afflicted with drowning. Mother's Embrace. So this is fluid body repelling. This is Mother's Embrace when it drops them. Return to the source. Damn, it just kills you. Ebb summons water from the target's blood and tissue. Damn! It then erupts out of them in a surge of massive damage in the process. Sounds sick. Create a powerful nova of water that repels all nearby enemies, pushing them back a fair distance. Mother's Breath. Clear Mind. Not taking damage. Her recovery time is reduced and she strikes twice with her normal attacks. Being hit removes this bonus for a few seconds. Strikes twice, don't care. Recovery time. Sick. Once recovered while Ebb's health is critical, she triggers a Nova repelling waters. Okay. And Gravelight sends a charged bolt of energy that bounces to hit nearby enemies. So, Chain Lightning. Grants bonus armor while Ebb is wearing light armor in combat. Territus Call, lift a target into the air and violently throw them back down to the ground in a crush damage. Whoa, that's a lot of damage. Grave Strike. How many? We have 5, actually. We have 5, which is quite a lot. Grave Strike. Bolt of arcane energy to foe that bounces nearby enemies. Moonlight, bonus to control Gravelight skill and Gravelight damage at night. At night. It's nice. Yeah. Pretty nice. Grants a bonus to magic defense. Better magic defense. Runic barrier, plus 4 armor when only wearing light armor. Call of Reckoning. Presence frightens nearby bane. Foe versus frightened affliction. But it's only versus bane, which I haven't fought yet. Territus Grip. If suspended target in midair, they can only be hit by ranged attacks and cannot attack, move, or stunned, be stunned or knocked out. Target in midair. Territus Grip. Okay. Territus's Gate. Use Grip to teleport across the battlefield. Enemies near her cast and destination locations are hit with a Gravelight attack that drains health. That's pretty cool. And everything else, empowered afflictions caused by attacks last longer. Grants bonus lore and additional spell slots. Oh, we found the additional spell slots, guys. While in the party, Ebb and her allies gain more skill, experience with lore spells and magic. Oh, okay, we found the one. We found the one that we want, guys. We found it. Control emotions, control tide casting. Everything is control except for okay. So. Click. I want this one. This is good. I also want this one, but I won't be reaching it today, but soon. Not today. Well, today is also true. Grants bonus armor while she's wearing light armor. Lifts a target, Territus Call, in the air, and then murders it. Which is cute. Grave Strike. Each enemy in a cone to trigger an explosion of Gravelight energy. Foes take arcane damage and a proportion of their lost health is drained back to Ebb. This is an AoE attack. We will click it. And then we Runic Teacher because, bitch, please. Control Gravelight skill and Gravelight damage at night. It's nice to just improve those. But I don't have Gravelight yet because you haven't taught me yet, Ebb. I need you to teach me that so that I have Gravelight so that I can give you more spells. Call of Reckoning. Ebb's presence frightens nearby bane. Whatever. Or I can get this. Grants bonus to magic defense. Meh. This is passive. We like passive things. Runic barrier is just she gets more armor. That's cute, I guess. Screw it. Let's do that. Whatever. And then we go over here. Lore is wits and resolve. She's pretty slow though, but let's go with this and then go all the way into widths. Are we one more here? Resolve? Meh. Widths. Save. Yeah, we need her to be smart. I need you to be smart. Oh, actually, I just thought of something. So if I click this, you cannot view or modify fundamental until you learn Sigil Terratus. There you go. So I do need her. I can't even move it. I can't even do anything about it. That's so lame. Distant impact. Yeah, I would rather you do channeled strength, which is fulmination, and then make it deal more damage. And we're at 60, so that's what you could do. Update, boom. The rest of them, assign here. Yeah, okay. Reset. Empty slot. Let's go with some healing. Sigil of Life. Why does it start at 20? Everything, nothing else starts at 20. Only Sigil of Life starts at 20. I don't understand it. I do not understand it. Focused intent, restoring touch. We're at 35. Intensity, more healing, 55. We can't do anything more than that. Assign, boom. You've got the heals in you. And then we want to do probably more lightning. Let's do with fulmination. This is electric jolt, and this is charged fist. We're going to do with the jolt. We're going to give you intensity, which is 50, and then can we do accuracy, 65. She can't do 65. Reaching grasp, it's more of that. Assign, boom. And then we could do something else. Vigor. Actually, what's her vigor status? Like, I think only I have the high vigor, control life, vigor. How do I know how much I have? What does this do? Locking skill growth will prevent this character from gaining experience in that skill through normal gameplay interactions. Oh, because I don't want to level up? But why would I do that? Why? When is that? How is that bad? I don't know. But it is kind of annoying that I can't see those skills. I can't see... I want to see how much you have of this type, and you cannot do that, which is annoying. Whatever, let's go with Vigor. Titan's Touch, this is Search of Glory. Make it better. Boom. Assign Ebb. Control, Vigor, she's got 32. Whatever. Better than nothing. And whatever. And let's hang around with her a little bit and see where we go. I need the goddamn sign of Terratus, so I need her I need something, you know? I need something from her for fudge's sake. What is that? Experience for next level. Why is that orange? I don't know why that's orange.
At least in theory, I'm supposed to be observing history and not getting myself wrapped into it. All the same, this is the thrill of a lifetime. Rarely does one stand so close to monumental moments in the making. If given the choice between a multifaceted hive mind of treachery and a surly old soldier, General Grumps is the wiser choice. It's patently obvious which Archon is truly loyal to Kairos. So, I must ask, are you planning on taking sides in the Civil War? Or do you have other plans?
For so long as it suits my purposes, I will be elevated to this favorite. I have my own little corner of the tiers now. My plans are entirely my own. I am the servant of the Archon of Justice. That much has not changed. Let's go... I have my own little corner now.
Your plans are your own, until they plunge the rest of us into misfortune. But I shall not pry, not now, at least. Know that your actions at Vendrian's Well have earned you the attention of the Tiers. Your reputation will attract opportunity and disaster, likely in uneven measures. Whatever you do next, consider that many eyes will be upon you, for you have both delivered and taken away the Overlord's edicts, and few will know how to make sense of the latter. You are an exception the Archons cannot afford to ignore. They will likely aim to control or destroy you.
Have you heard of edicts being broken before?
Most of Kairos' edicts were either worded to end in a manner of the Overlord's choosing, or the edicts have simply continued in perpetuity. That's not to say there haven't been stories of broken edicts. They're just uncommon. The oldest is, I think, Galbraith and the Edict of Sorrows, and that tale dates back to around the year 110. Aside from you, the most recent was the Edict of Twisting Grasses, back in 380. In all these stories, Kairos' edict very clearly gives its victim a single way to escape, and someone manages it. What's never happened is the pure abatement of an edict, like using a spell of warding or cancellation.
Noted. Now, have a moment, let's talk further. So what's on your mind? Did you want to discuss matters of present, or would you prefer a more scholarly rant? Okay, so I think I can talk to everyone right now, and I still need to click this, but we just went through the entirety of Ebb, and yeah, see, everyone is like shiny, so everyone wants to talk to me, but we're like an hour in. I know this has just been pure conversation, but yeah, there's a lot to take in, and there's a new party member, and new party members don't come out that often. So we've got a lot more to do, and we're going to keep doing it next time. Because we just do an hour a week, right? And we'll see how long it'll take us. I'm assuming a lot of time. But I'm greatly enjoying myself and the lore and everything. This game's pretty cool. We need to click this Spire, and we need to go here and click this and see what the hell's going on. And there's so much to do. But yeah, we just, it's all good. It's all great. And thank you for sticking around with me. Hopefully you're enjoying this very, very, very lore-heavy walkthrough. I don't know if it's a walkthrough. It's a playthrough of Tyranny. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you guys in the next one.